Since 1991, when he emerged Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, the presidential candidate of Nigeria People's Party, Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, has no doubt been a leading figure in Nigeria's political space. From 1999, when he was first elected governor of Kano State, to 2003, when he was appointed the Minister of Defense, 2000 office of the president. However, his entrance into the presidential race of 2023, though many consider it a late start, received a warm welcome by Mr. Decide, took an even deeper and more demanding turn. Across different platforms, the Nigerian patriot has continued to insist that he is more qualified and suited to be Nigeria's next president. No doubt, the NNPP has become the fourth leg that stabilizes the table of Nigeria's political base in the forthcoming election. Hello and welcome to Politics Alive, reaching you from Alive TV. I am Ulubenga George. I will return to you right after this break. Today, politics comes alive as we discuss Nigeria's prospect under Kwankwaso leadership. Joining me to have this conversation is Mrs. Folashade Aliu, National Campaign Secretary of the New Friends and Family Members, as we promised to bring you an exciting conversation with her. It's good to have you join me in this conversation. Tracy was just there last week, and before, we had the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, also the Chatham House. And of course, to crown it all, we had the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission also appear before that honorable house, so to speak. I'd like to begin, before we talk about the details, of what these candidates have said on that platform. A lot of people feel that Nigerian politicians, traveling all the way to London to sell themselves and to tell the European public what to do or how they intend to run a Nigerian African government seems absurd. I'd like to get your view. What's so important about going to the Chatham House to, sell themselves to that audience over there?
Well, thank you. So to segment so that our audience can understand. The first thing that comes to mind when I hear people talk about that is that, look, our primary purpose at NNPP, and of course our principal, which is our presidential candidate, distinguished Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, is that we want to save democracy, we want to rescue Nigeria. There is no one nation that stands alone and do everything and achieve alone. So as much as we want Nigerians to understand what we are bringing in terms of the new Nigeria, a better Nigeria, a Nigeria with better prosperous environment for all of us, we also need to let the international community understand what we're bringing to the table. So on that, looking at it like that, in addition, of course, to that is our Nigerian diaspora community. We have a very large population outside of Nigeria. And I'm part of them, have been there, I've done that in the sense that when people don't understand what candidates, do I say, from the third persons instead of hearing from the candidate. So that platform gives us the opportunity to tell the whole world what Nigeria is about to do and what the candidate is going to do to achieve what we set out to do. So I think it's a very neutral platform for that matter. It's neutral to everybody. They don't have any particular interest, I will assume, on any candidate. So if you look at it like that, there are so many reasons why that platform is very important. And if you look at other democracies, even in America, when they're going through their campaign situation, people want to know your foreign relations agenda. What do you have? How do you want to do this? So, and we're just...
Well, sorry that I have to interrupt. I like that you spoke to foreign agenda, even
Yes.
though we'll get to that within the conversation.
Yes.
But a lot of people do say, why London? Why the UK? Especially when you consider that the United Kingdom, London, were our colonial masters. And we claim to be a sovereign state. We continuously, just recently we saw how President Muhammadu Buhari told the international community to back off, that this is a Nigerian business especially, and they should watch how they interfere into the process of our election. Yes, I understand you have observers coming from the EU, from America, and other bodies, to observe our election. That may be acceptable. But don't you think that we are further subjecting ourselves to modern colonization by continuing to go to explain to that body, especially when you talk about people in diaspora? Statistics at the moment says that we have about 1.7 million of them.
Much more than that?
Yes, well, that's what's been captured. There are double of that or more. The Nigerian population, 5 million registered voters that we exist through elections, all things being equal. So if you look at the ratio between the international community and the local community, then you want to say perhaps yes, the point of people in diaspora does matter, but maybe it just might not suffice when we look at the figures. There may be other reasons. Are we not further subjecting ourselves to modern slavery and prioritizing foreign bodies to local bodies and to the nation
that stands alone and does everything alone? That's number one. Number two, if you talk about economy, United States, the fact of the matter is, so I don't think we need to, I think we should appreciate the fact that somebody is willing to hear what we have to say. And we should also be glad that somebody is willing to participate in the interest of our nation. I want to look at it from that point of view. And then, in addition to that, even President Muhammadu Buhari himself, like you said, went to the same place and presented himself to the world. And very importantly for us, a lot of the friends of Nigerians, countries, the test is good for so many things that they do. So there's a particular interest in Nigeria among the nations in Africa. That's the fact of the matter. Apart from the fact that as of several years back, we are the largest, not in terms of the economic factor, ours is more favorable, but how did we get here? So what I'm saying is that, yes, we can look at it from one point of view to say, why should we go to London? We have to speak to the world. And the best way to do that is to create a neutral ground for everybody to be able to present themselves, present their agenda, and present how they are going to accomplish what they said they were accomplishing.
All right, interesting one. I mean, you have defensively.
But very importantly, to speak to the Nigerians in diaspora, it's very important.
I think that's really impressive. All right, let's move forward now and talk about the delivery at the Chatham House itself. All right, so we had Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso there from. He says that when they talked about the possibility of merger and all of that, he said, well, that if somebody else is put on the table and he is able to weigh that person to see that indeed this person is better than himself, then he would definitely back down. Meaning that he's in the race of 8-year term governor. Then we have Peter Obi that, brought the South that didn't know him much. To the table to say, look, let's have this alignment. We are popular in the South to some extent, and you are popular in the North. Every time we keep talking about the North.
So that equates it. No, what I'm trying to say is that you have to look at that and you look at other factors. Because for me, it is not about North and South. We're at a critical junction. And we need somebody from the first state that has the experience. He has experience as a civil servant. He's been a defense minister. And you know what that means in Nigeria. It's not a child play. And he has represented Nigeria as an advisor in Darfur. He has been a legislator. He has been in the executive. All of these people, he relates to them. And more beyond that, he relates to the grassroots. And you need to understand this man, that the kind of leadership that he exhibits is leadership by example. So I don't want to go too far into the Labour Party matter because, it's even past that.
I wasn't looking at it from the point of a Labour Party maybe agreement or merger per se. I was looking at it from the reality of maybe the provision of the Electoral Act that says that you have to score, across several parts of the country.
Look, he was part. Distinguished Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was part of the national conference that made that decision. So going into this venture or this project, he understands.
Okay.
And what I would tell you is that when we admit that the knot is taken, basically because we have done the work. Now we are saying that we are not at the same level in the South. Okay, and when you are in a project of this manner and you are able to evaluate yourself and be honest with yourself, that means that you know where you're going. In your back end, as you meet with your team, you determine how we're going to penetrate and impact the South. And that's what we're saying. Okay. And let me also tell you very quickly that we have gone through almost 500 local governments out of the 774. And to do that, it's not only in the north. We have traveled the road from Oyo State to Ondo State to Edo State to Delta State. And let me also tell you, we have candidates in all of these places.
I'm interested. I mean, we'll continue to air your views and talk about how much your party is doing. But
so we're ready.
We're ready. Let's take this quick break. All right, viewers, let's take this quick break. When we return, the conversation will continue with my guest at the studio. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're still in the studios talking about Nigeria's prospects under a Kwankwaso leadership, and I have the campaign secretary of the new Nigerian People's Party right here in the studio with me, Folashade Aliyu, talking about this. Of course, before we went on that break, you were talking about quite a lot of interesting things and how well positioned the new Nigerian People's Party is, and of course the candidate. But I'd like to find out, especially some people did feel that Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso arrived a bit late on the scene. And, to confirm that, you would see many of the candidates, especially of the 2 or 3 other parties, going round at some point, to have the one that was having town hall meetings, the one that was having rallies, all across the country. But your party just constituted even its presidential campaign council at the beginning of the year. And, that seemed rather late, isn't it? Were you looking like some people actually suggested? Was it that the candidate was looking at the possibility of maybe saying, well, maybe we can step aside for someone and just play it cool and give the opportunity for somebody that looks a bit more suited and positioned to take the leadership, come 2023 election?
On the contrary, it was deliberate. It was very strategic for us to officially inaugurate our presidential campaign council. And I'll tell you what. Coming late, the issue of coming late does not even arise because we've been at this. We understand INEC schedule, timetable, and we've been working with a timetable. Prior to that, I want to give you a little brief of our background. We started as friends of Kwankwaso, and then we advanced into TNM, the national movement, and then we decided to come together with NNPP. NNPP is not a brand new body. It's been around for some time. But not as prominent, nationwide. So we are prepared, we understand what it takes, we are looking at the schedule, and we're ready. Now, the Presidential Campaign Council, the reason why it took a little while for us to do that is, number one, we insisted, we wanted, and by the way, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso interested in everyone that is part of that process. In the sense that we want people that are committed to our party, the people that are dedicated to the cause and the beliefs of, that are ready to do whatever it takes within their powers. We have there. We have to call them to be sure for them to accept that they want to be part of it. We have over 1,000. And as I'm speaking to you, even as of yesterday, people are still coming to the campaign office to say that they want to be part of it. So when I'm saying we have over 1,000, you don't necessarily put everybody's name out there at the same time, because you want to put the verified names out there and give opportunity to other people. So